This is a werewolf movie, right? It's day 19 of 31 Days of Horror, and we are watching the movie The Cursed. This movie is about a pathologist named John, played by Boyd Holbrook, who comes to a town after hearing about some suspicious murders. Before this, some local land was occupied and claimed by some local gypsies, and the rich people of the town did not like this. So they tried buying it from them. When that didn't work, they told them, hey, you need to get off this land or we're gonna force you. Well, when this didn't work, they just ended up just shooting all of them, murdering them, and capturing them. They end up capturing the two main gypsies that we see earlier in the movie, and the lady decides to put a curse on them, saying that you're gonna see these evil dreams until you summon the Dark One. This is when they do one of the most messed up torture deaths I've probably seen in a while. They grab the other guy and they pin him down, they put him on a pole, and they cut his arms and legs off. They stuff his sleeves and his pants with hay, they put a bag over his head, and they make him become like a living scarecrow. That is some messed up death. The silver teeth that the guy made earlier in the film, they bury with the gypsy lady that they end up killing. These things are definitely cursed, and when the local kids keep on having the same dreams of the scarecrow, they end up right at his feet, and they end up digging these teeth. One of the kids slaps him in his mouth, kind of like those vampire teeth that you have on Halloween, and just bites one of the kids, and this is what causes the curse to run wild in this town. This is definitely not your typical werewolf movie, and I don't even really know if you can call these things werewolves with how they look. They look like cursed mutant humans that are hairless with sharp fangs. They also have these weird vines that grow out of them once the human is bit, and then they end up having to go to water, and that's when they turn into these monsters. Also, the CGI on them is pretty bad in most of the shots, and I feel like if you didn't have the budget to make these things look really good, then you probably shouldn't have done them CGI. You probably should just stick to doing it practical. I think that would have looked a lot better. I think the scenes where we see the scarecrow dude in the dream sequences are a lot creepier than the monsters are in this film. This was a lot more brutal than I thought it was going to be. I mean, it's really bloody with some pretty good gore. I mean, there's limbs hanging off their body parts. There's big, gnarly scratches. So if you are looking for some good blood, then this movie definitely has it for you. Also, another thing I totally forgot while watching this film is that 99% of the movie takes place 35 years in the past, because the beginning of the movie starts and we're in 1918 during some type of war, and some soldier guy gets shot, and then it just goes to a huge flashback and you kind of forget about the very first scene. There are some slow parts in this film that I feel cut into the exciting parts. The monster is pretty strong though, and we do get to see some pretty cool scenes near the end of the film when it's attacking a lot of people. They also do have the same weakness as other werewolves. They are weak to silver, but in this case, once they're shot with a silver bullet, they don't die, they just turn back into human. Also, their body seems like husks for the humans inside of them. They kill one of them and they gut it, and there's the human inside of that monster thing. It's pretty interesting. It was shot well and has an interesting concept, and this is definitely not the kind of werewolf movie I thought we were gonna get. I enjoyed this, even though I think it lacks some things that would have made this a lot better. Also, I'm not a big fan of how it ended. I think once they took that silver bullet out, it would have been really cool to see him instantly turn back into a monster. That would have been cool instead of just cutting the black. On a scare meter, this gets a 2 out of 10. On a bloody meter, this gets a 7 out of 10. This is why I give The Cursed a 7 out of 10. If you guys like this review, hit that like button. If you guys want to see more, hit that follow button. And as always, thanks for watching.